My friend Jeanette McIntyre, over the course of time that I've known her, has worn many hats. But the ones I think that are most significant really have to do with your writing. You're a published columnist for the Rapid City Journal, and we're not even going to hold that against you in this forum.
Okay.
Because we know what you write. You're a conservative Republican activist, aren't you, Jeanette?
I am.
And that leads us into the conversation really about the Tea Party. And from your perspective, you've seen the Tea Party in western South Dakota kind of ebb and flow and be energized and then maybe some division. What do you see happening nationally with the Tea Party?
Well, interestingly enough, Gordon, that you asked that question because I had a conversation with a gal who was a comedian on the ship. I work for Carnival. And she was very adamant that the Tea Party was racist. And I said, no, it's not. It has more to do with less taxes, more freedoms, and just personal responsibility. Honestly, I couldn't convince her of it. Now, South Dakota has a lot more conservative people, and so we can embrace that attitude, but I think the mainstream media, for lack of a better way to describe it, really have gotten that message out there that doesn't describe the Tea Party at all.
That's right. Frankly, if you disagree with the Obama team, you're a racist.
That's absolutely right.
We were talking a little bit about the comment that Obama made recently about you could have watched Romney's speech on black and white television. And your suggestion was?
What I said was, if a Republican or a conservative said the issues in this campaign couldn't be more black and white, you would immediately have been called a racist.
Yes.
And that's where the media is totally unfair.
Yeah.
Totally unfair. They're getting away with things that, and I'm sure he didn't mean it as a racist comment when he said black and white TV. Yeah. But the problem is, if a Republican said the same thing, or a conservative or a Tea Party member said the same thing, they would be called on it.
I want to ask you a question that you're not prepared for, so this is, we're going to catch you as where you really live.
Okay.
There are some important races coming up in 2014. Kristi Noem's House seat is probably going to be available to someone because she's likely to run for the Senate. Tim Johnson's Senate seat is up, and the best guess is that Rounds and Noem are going to run for that seat. And the governor's office is also going to be available either to reinstall Dugard or a challenger. Do any of those or all of those offices interest you at all?
You know, Gordon, that was unfair of you to ask me that on camera. But I'll tell you, and this is funny, I was born and raised in South Dakota. I have always wanted to run for governor. That sounds crazy because I'm not a lawyer. I don't have that kind of background. I probably don't have the Republican Party's blessing, as most people would have to have. So it would be a wild card in the wild card game. But I think Governor Dugard has made some mistakes when it's come to teachers in the last session. And I think he's opened himself up to some real challenges, if not from someone like me as a wild card, but others within the Republican Party.
What about the Kristi Noem seat? If that's an open seat, now, and you and I know that you and I both have had some political inclinations. You've run for office, I've run for office. Would that Noem seat interest you at all? If you felt you could make a difference?
It might, but I guess I've never thought about it. To be honest with you, I've never thought about it.
We want you to start thinking about it, Jeanette.
Okay.
Because there is a shortage of strong conservatives to be willing to step up to the plate. And so if you're listening to this segment today, it wouldn't be a bad idea to write Jeanette and encourage her to think about that seat, because frankly, that could fit you very well.
Well, that would be an interesting challenge.
And it also could be a dynamic opportunity for South Dakota, because Jeanette, you've got enough experience, business experience, on the ground street experience, that you'd be taking that to a body of legislators who seriously need it.
Well, there's not much that scares me.
I know that to be a fact. Let's talk again with our friend Jeanette real soon. Stay tuned, and you'll want to be sure and tune in.